Hi, I decided to make a video while I cook, and I can't get a proper angle, so you're gonna see a lot of my belly as I talk to the camera. So, belly. Yeah, there's like literally nothing higher than this. I can sit down actually. That's a little better. Okay. So, I really want to make a video today. It's Sunday. I feel like Sunday is a good content day because I feel like Sunday is a good day for like reflection and sorting stuff out. So yeah, let's get into it. Yeah. Excuse me. It's very classy of me. Okay, so I guess chopping food is uncomfortable sitting down since I immediately stood up. Okay, one thing I want to talk about today is like finding your purpose and figuring out what your life's like mission is. And I feel like I'm coming to a point where I can confidently say, I know what my mission is, what my goal in life is, what my thing, what I've been put on this earth to do. And before I say exactly what it is, I'm going to give you a finger. I'm going to tell an incredibly long story. So, and it's different from last week because I actually took my meds this morning. I took all my meds, all the prescribed medication. Oh, and I'm making collard greens because I woke up this morning and I really wanted to have some Southern cooking. My family's from the South, if you didn't know. Okay, so when I was little Janae, I wanted to be a choreographer. I was so into dancing. And I had a friend who was so good at dancing, and she also wanted to become a choreographer. And I was like, ooh, I want to do that. And I also had parents who would be like, yeah, you should become a dentist or a doctor. Because, every single parent is just like, I aspire my kid to become a doctor. I don't know why that's like such amazing role. Because then I even saw today that a nurse was just convicted of a malpractice lawsuit because of human error, which, as a human who could possibly get harmed by that, valid, but it's also like human error is human error. And like working as a doctor, they be having y'all up like doing like everything. Yeah, like I'll be running on like 0 hours of sleep, and then you have to like make sure that you get the right dosage. That is so complicated. At least what I see on TV. And when I go to the doctor's office, like it's a lot. You have to try and diagnose somebody, and you can't actually know what someone's prognosis or whatever is. So just really complicated. So I'm really happy I didn't go with the whole doctor route. And then I remember when I was like really little, my sister said that she knew how to palm read, and I was probably like 7. She said she knew how to palm read, and I was like, oh my god, she knows how to palm read. She can tell my future. This one sister, she would always do like these weird ass things that were so pivotal in my other sister and I's life. And then we grow up, and she's like, why would you want to do that? And it's like, because you told me. You put me onto this. You're the reason why I'm here right now. So she said that she can read my palm. And if you're seeing this and you think it's you, sister, it is you. It is in fact you who told me this. She read my palm, and she was like, you're gonna marry someone whose name starts with an R. At the time I had a crush on a boy named Rashad. And then she also said that I was going to become a speech pathologist. And I was like, a speech pathologist? What is a speech pathologist? So going throughout my life, I never really knew exactly what I wanted to do. Like, of all the career choices, I was never interested in any of them. But I did know for certain that I did not want to work a 9-to-5. Like, that life sounds so boring to me. Well, I mean, it still sounds boring, but at the point I am right now, I would work a 9-to-5. I could get paid consistent money. But I remember being like, I never want to do that, so I don't know what kind of job I would want to have. So I'm getting closer and closer to graduation now, and I'm like, okay, guess I'll get into speech pathology, and like I'll look into it, because you know it's a choice, and blah blah blah. Like that is stuck with me. But then my sister was like, why would you want to do that? Like that is such a boring job. And in my mind, I'm like, you told me that this was like my career path. But I need the olive oil. The phone was leaning on the olive oil. I chopped up red and green peppers, and I have some onions that I already chopped up and cried about, and I'm putting some olive oil because I'm going to saute them just in case anyone wants to follow along with the recipe as I'm chatting away. Okay, let's set the scene up again. Okay, I'm going to start the stove and let it simmer as I chop up my leafy greens. Well, I actually have to wash them, but so let's move the camera just a smidge. Okay, anyways, so college time comes, and yeah, she was like, why the hell would you want to be a speech pathologist? Like, that just sounds absolutely boring. And to that, I have to be like, well, you put me onto it, so now I have to figure out an entire new life goal, and it's college deadline, so I have no idea what I'm going to get into. But one thing that I started finding myself really interested in was making videos. I found so much joy from watching, I need a bigger bowl, from watching the British YouTubers. The British YouTubers took over my life, okay? They were doing everything exciting, in my opinion. They were traveling, they were going to concerts, and they looked so happy. They seemed like they enjoyed themselves. And I remember like following Zoella and being like low-key, I say low-key, and I really mean low-key, is giving a bit of big sister really energy, like someone who's can teach you how to do the girly stuff, the makeup, the blah blah blah, and I loved that. But I do want to say low-key because a British white woman do not know the struggles of black womanhood, so not a sister, but I started being able to see how her content can really influence people. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. I saw how her creating this content could be really pivotal to young women who didn't know. This is really loud, I'm realizing. It's quieter. For young women who didn't know like what to do with their, how to be feminine, how to connect, or to share stories with people that they couldn't really like. Sorry, you hear that loud sound? I have the fire on too high. Sorry, onions and peppers. And I also chop the onions and peppers up like really big, simply because I don't want to cook it up too finely, because that takes too much work. So, and plus they all get soft after you cook it, and so it's fine with me. I'm mostly making this just for myself. If I were making it for my mom, who's usually like a really big judge when it comes to Southern cooking, because she is the person I learned everything from, then I would make things differently. But it's just for me. I make it how I like it. Okay, so now I'm chopping up. Do. Chop, chop, chop. Oh. Okay, anyways. Yes, I saw how amazing their impact could be on people, changing people's lives, opening them up to whole new things. Like, because I feel like that was like the first time really that I saw like people just being open and vulnerable and sharing their lives and experiences with people. And I thought that was so beautiful. And so I started making YouTube videos. I made videos back in high school, and I would every now and then have like my friends come and like do videos along with me. And I had so much fun. I really enjoyed it. It took me some time, but at first I started recording on my webcam, which is really grainy. Actually, let me go back. Actually, in middle school, and yeah, it was like a middle school, bit like early high school, and I had a web camera. I used to make videos on Facebook. I just did it to entertain my friends, to kind of like talk junk whenever I got out of a breakup and whatever. But I used to make so many videos on Facebook that I was like a little bit, just a tiny smidge, Facebook famous. Like I had I joined this organization. I was talking to somebody, and she was like, "You look so familiar." And then she was like, "Oh yeah, like I saw you on Facebook, and I saw that video that you made." And I was like, I didn't think anybody outside of my friends saw those videos, but it's really cool to have someone who recognized me in public from the stuff that I was talking about. Now, I will say that when I was spewing stuff on Facebook, I was a little teenage girl who had attitude problem. I was so upset about like literally everything, and so it was definitely a lot of complaining, a lot of annoyance, a lot of whatever, to the point that if anyone ever found those videos or anyone brought them up, do not hold that to my character to this day. I was an angry, troubled teen who was going through so much and did not have the words to kind of like deal with everything that I was going through. But it was using Facebook and talking in the camera. It was really therapeutic. I went through my first breakup and I went to the camera and I was talking it all out, talking it all through the camera, because it felt like comfortable to me to just like sit and chat. And then I stopped when I was in high school. Well, a little bit, like I slowly stopped in high school, and then like when I was graduating, like I think when I was like 16-ish, no, 17, 16, 17, then I started making YouTube videos because I started seeing those people create, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. And then I kind of forgot that I made videos on Facebook and that it was very similar to what I started doing when I was in high school until like later on. But I loved making videos. I loved creating content. I loved sitting there and chatting and sharing stories, sharing my favorite books, sharing everything. It was really nice, but I wasn't getting like the viewership that I wanted. So after a while, kind of like, I didn't stop for a couple years. But I wasn't sharing my content in the way that a lot of other people were sharing their content. I was kind of just like, you like it, then you like it, and that's it. And then I will share like a link on Tumblr where no one really like went to go and find my stuff. And I wasn't like sharing my content in the way that other people were, or marketing things in the way that I could have, but I also didn't really know how to market, so I was just like doing whatever. And then I was just like, who really wants to hear about a little black girl from Brooklyn living her life? Maybe that's just not interesting. Maybe it's not people's cup of tea. And so after a while, I just started making videos for myself and my friends. And then when I kept getting even more and more input of how I should create and how I shouldn't create and what I should and shouldn't do, then I stopped making videos. Now, all throughout my YouTube career, I did not really want to work. I mean, I kind of sort of started off my YouTube career using my parents' Social Security money. And so I did not have to work. I just had the coinage, and I was able to afford a lot of the things. I grew and developed so much, because when I first started, once again, I had only had the webcam. And then from the webcam, I started learning a lot more about cameras and camera qualities and how to get the best cameras, best bang for my buck, doing all that kind of research. And then after a while, I started doing research and trying to get a new laptop. I learned a hell of a lot more about tech because I wanted to start creating like really good content. And I just kept learning and educating. And then I tried different editing softwares because I didn't know how to edit. And now that I'm retelling the story, I worked so freaking hard in order for me to start making videos. Like, it's crazy. sat down and learned so much. I did so much trial and error. I even went to, when my first year in college, I was a media production major. So I was like learning how to edit videos. I was learning how to do radio, how to do everything, because I love so much like working behind the scenes as well as being in front of the camera. It was so exciting. But then I just got really depressed, and I found myself like not interested in any of the courses that I was taking anymore. And instead I was really interested in sitting down at like while I was working and just like writing stories. And so then I just started writing stories. That was like the new thing that Janae did. I wrote. And so I kind of switched gears from making video. Well, I didn't. I kept making videos. But I was no longer into the degree that I was going for. I'm going to go sit in the living room for a little bit. Turn down the heat. I chopped up most of the collard greens, but the onions and peppers haven't sauteed enough for me to add the collard greens just yet. So I'm gonna sit on a comfy couch. Okay. Yeah. So back to the video. Back to the talking about your life's purpose. So I feel like the easiest time that I had and the funnest time that I had was when I was making videos and doing a whole bunch of research for videos and doing research of how I can better create videos. I was having the time of my life, and I felt like things were just like so much easier. And it also, once again, really therapeutic for me to sit and just talk to a camera. It's so comforting, which is why I'm also like really in love with having virtual therapy. Girl, it's so much easier. It's like I'm talking to a camera, but the camera's talking back. It's amazing. Well, not really, because it depends on who's on the other side of the camera. But actually kind of, because I went from having like my favorite Black therapist. It's not just her race, but it's also like a Black woman from Brooklyn. She like helped me out so much. And now I have a white woman who's my therapist, and I feel comfortable sharing stuff with her. But you know what I think it is? I think it's because I have grown to be really comfortable like sharing certain vulnerabilities with people. Like, because I grown to just be like an open book. Like, if you want to ask me a question, I'm gonna answer it. What you want to know? Anyways, back to the life purpose. I swear I changed the scene and now I'm off topic. Okay. Now, that was like one of my favorite times. I loved making videos, and I really wanted to make a life off of making content. I actually didn't even want to go to college. I mean, I went into college for like the media because I was like, I'm so passionate about YouTube that I might as well just like go into college and study stuff in order for me to be better at making YouTube videos. I didn't want to go to college, but my mom said that I had to, so then I went to college, and it was all right. College is college. But I just wanted to make a life making videos, and I wanted to move to London, and that was all I wanted to do. But I stayed, and fuck it, I'm here now. Anyways, life purpose. Okay, so I gave all of that bit of information. My goals sort of kind of changed, where I was just like, okay, now I want to get into writing, because I realized that I genuinely love writing, and writing is also something that I have been doing for most of my life. I remember I used to write a lot in my journals, but then my dad started reading my journals, and so I stopped like using a journal. So I guess videos then became like a form of journaling for me. But I used to love writing, and if I wasn't writing, then I was creating scenarios in my head. Just before going to sleep, I would create stories of me being a princess and blah blah blah, or like I just always created all of these crazy stories. Whenever I was daydreaming, whenever I was doing anything, I just always created like these wild and vibrant stories, because I just loved them so much. And then me getting into reading during high school, I think it was like sophomore year in high school, I just fell in love with reading again. I used to love reading when I was in elementary school, but writing those reports after reading a book, fucking hated it. So I stopped, and then it took me some time for me to get back into it. I had my friend Miriam, and she and I would read books together all the time, which was definitely a really great incentive to writing stories. But then I also was so pissed because I was not seeing the stories that I wanted to see with, like, Black characters in it. Like, I remember, like, I was like, okay, I love the Hunger Games, I love Divergent, I loved all these different things, but where are the stories with Black women, with Black kids? I needed the YA, because everyone was just like, oh yeah, well, you should read, like, Octavia Butler, you should read blah blah blah. I wanted to read about these fucking teenagers doing stupid shit that teenagers do. Why couldn't people who looked like me be young and doing silly, nonsensical teenage things? I mean, now there's a hell of a lot more content, a lot more books and content, like people who, like, verbally talk about the stories, whatever, of Black young folks going on these wild adventures, being scientists, being everything. And I'm even writing my own book where other stories where Black characters are doing that, which I'm really grateful for. But my gears changed in so that I wanted to become an author instead of, like, wanting to become the YouTuber of my dreams. And that changed. And then I was also like, I'm such a creative person. I love creating. I love making stuff. I love making stuff and then sharing it with the world. I think that's so much fun to me. I love creating and learning new avenues and yada yada. It's always just been so exciting for me. And all of that long story there, figuring out my life purpose, it's like, after a while, I started, like, things started clicking where I started knowing exactly what my purpose was. But I have just been, like, dragging my feet due to, like, insecurities, due to, like, me stressing out about yada yada, just everything, just fucking stressed about everything. My sisters and one of my nieces got into making YouTube videos. I started the trend, and now those followed me. No, I'm kidding. But with the B word, I was kidding. But, like, yeah, they started making content, and they make absolutely amazing content. They are doing so much better than I did when I was making, like, content consistently. And I used to be so tight. I used, like, not really. You know what? Let me rephrase that. I remember them making videos, and I was obviously incredibly proud of them. They would come to me and ask me questions, and it was great. But I was tight not because of their success, but because I wasn't making videos anymore. I feel like I felt like they were going to stop too, like, after other people telling them how they should and shouldn't create or something like that. I thought that they would just be like, yeah, this is annoying, I'm gonna stop too. But they are still going strong, still making really amazing videos, still making really amazing content. And I started realizing that, like, a lot of people aren't telling them how they should do stuff, how they should create. But that's another video. So figuring out my purpose, I realized that my purpose was creating, was generating, was making content, was doing that. Because I found the most joy from it. And I also, like, other people found joy from it. It was something that was just really important for me to just, like, make content, to make videos, to make stories, to write, to just make. It was really nice. And so, while I was still, like, frustrated because I'm like, I'm not making money, I'm not generating any kind of income, and I'm applying for jobs and no one's hiring me, and it's really annoying. So then I took to astrology. And I was like, what does astrology have to say about my birth chart? You know what astrology said? Creating is your strong suit. Your personality is your money maker. So not money. Creating is what my birth chart says I'm supposed to do. And then I did that thing. What is it called? It's My Design. And then I did that, and then I saw that one of my things is that I'm a generator. I generate content. I generate things so that people can consume, and it'll change the lives of people. And then that reminded me of me starting to make videos because of whatever. And then my sisters and niece then making videos and them creating afterwards. And I'm like really joking and saying that they started everything because of me, because they didn't. They had videos that they had something in their heart that they wanted to share, and so it is. I'm literally just joking, but I was just like, yeah, I can see that, me creating. I'm a generator. I get the ball going. I get the flowing, you know. And so I started just coming to a realization that my life's purpose is just to create, to share, to express and explore, to just be open about shit and just let it be. Because I feel like I be working like in retail, and then I'm just like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Because one thing that I always hated about retail is that, like, this is not benefiting me. It's financially benefiting me, which is great, but like, it's not nourishing my soul. It's not making me feel energized. It's not helping me grow. It's not making me, I'm not learning anything from standing at this register and talking to people. Every now and then, like, some interesting people will come in, and then you get to have like a fun little conversation. But like, other than that, I just felt like it was just like really boring. I'm doing the same things. I'm counting money, and then I can't even like pop in an AirPod or put on some good tunes because they always just put on like the same old songs on the radio. And then I've been working for smaller businesses, and okay, I could work retail in smaller businesses, but then it still feels the same. Like, I'm not doing anything for myself, and I'm have to abide by the rules that you've created for the store that most of the time I feel like it's like fucking stupid. Like, I had a boss once that was just like, you can't sit during your entire shift. And that was the same thing that me working at like the other store that I was working at, where I couldn't sit for my entire shift. But the difference is that there was a seat at the register, but I couldn't sit during my shift. Make that make sense. So when she wasn't there, I always sat. And then when a customer would come in, I would get up and have a conversation with the customer. Why can't I sit during my shift? I'm literally standing here for 9 hours straight. That don't make no sense. That does not make sense. That should not be a thing that people have to do in their workforce. People should be allowed to sit. And I also have like ankle issues, and I have joint issues. Like, girl, you want me to stand this whole time? Why? Who is that benefiting? Not me. So working in certain like places, I was always just like, what the hell? Like, why am I doing? I even had like a job where I'd be sitting around just like waiting for my boss to remember that I exist, to then give me shifts for me to work. Because most of the time she just would forget about. I had like an entire week where I had no work. I did not work, not a once. And then I had to hit her up and be like, hey, can I come in and work? And this is me working again like at a smaller business. And at first I was just like, I understand that she has difficulties like staying on task or whatever, because it's only her, it's her business, and it's whatever. But I really want to work somewhere where people value my time, my energy, and me. Like, because I am an incredibly hardworking person, and I'm really fucking nice. I be so patient with people. I be giving people excuses after excuses because I understand that humans be humaning. I just would like to work somewhere where people appreciate me. Because I also had another job, speaking of the other job that I worked at, I swear nobody was appreciating me. I swear no one valued my time, my energy. Because I was just there to meet a quota, to meet a standard. And I don't like that. I don't like that in the work field. Like, oh yeah, well, so-and-so can just come and do whatever because we want her to. I want to be valued. I want to be appreciated. Unfortunately, this video is going to have to be edited. Okay. So, long story short, oh, and back to the collard greens. So I chopped up all the greens. I put them all in together. And now I'm going to fill it up with some water. Kettle. Because it's easier to pour in. I need more water. So what you want to do is like make sure that you can see the water around the edges of the pot. So you can actually see that the water, like there's water in the pot. And after a while, you just kind of like just leave it there for the greens to cook down, for everything to cook in. You just leave it alone. More water. Dang, I still need more water. All right, well, while I'm filling that up, you also add vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar or regular vinegar. And you use like maybe like a tablespoon of vinegar. Maybe 2, depending. So this is just what I put together like now. I'm gonna go upstairs and like live my life for a bit. And then in like maybe an hour, I'm gonna come back down and check on her and see how she's doing. And I usually don't season the collard greens until about like 30 minutes to when it's all done. Oh, the word I was looking for is submerge the leaves. Submerge the leaves. All right, so that's all in there. I'm gonna mix it up so that all the greens, the onions and peppers don't just stay at the bottom of the mix, that they kind of get up to the top and float around a little bit. All right, so beautiful, beautiful. Put in the vinegar. I'm gonna salt it. And add some, do I want to add red peppers now or later? I'm gonna add some now. Just a little bit. Just a smidge. Because I can handle spice, but I don't always like to be able to handle spice. So I use a very tiny amount. And garlic. I need some garlic in here. I did say that I don't season it like until like 30 minutes after. In my personal opinion, this isn't really seasonings, because after this cooks down, simmer, then you have to go back and check and see how everything tastes. If it tastes to your standards, then you add more. And then you also I want to add like a little bit of a smoke flavoring in it. Oh, and it's vegan. So my mom would usually, like growing up, she would cook it with like ham bone or whatever the fuck. But I have never cooked my collard greens with that, because when I first started making my own collard greens, I was away at college and I was making a big meal for all of my friends. And one of my friends is vegan, so I always make sure that she's able to eat. And so I was able to perfectly make a very delicious collard greens that was vegan. And then after a while, I learned how to make the perfect fried chicken, southern fried chicken, that is vegan. Because of her, it challenged me to learn so much more about cooking and cooking things that are vegan. I bake really well vegan treats. I no longer bake goods that is not vegan. I like baking vegan treats, unless I found like this one recipe. And what was it? It was like milk. It was milk bread. I made milk bread, and I found a recipe on TikTok, and it was evaporated milk. And I just really wanted like a sweet treat. And I didn't want to go to the store, so I just used the evaporated milk that we had in the house. But yeah, that was good. That was a good recipe. I genuinely love cooking, so I think I might make videos like this again in the future where I'm just like talking to the camera as I'm cooking. The downstairs of my house needs a lot of work. We got to clean a lot. This is the trauma house. This is the house where a lot of depression happened, where a lot of horrible and terrifying events happened, and we are in the process of cleaning and changing everything. But until then, this is the kitchen that I have. Cleaning everything up, putting things away. I'm hungry, and I have cereal upstairs, or I can make. But I don't even know what I want to have for breakfast. You see, if I had my vegan sausage, then I would make a yummy mix, but I don't. So I'm just gonna go upstairs and eat a bowl of cereal, but that's not gonna be filling, so I'm gonna make an English muffin. We don't have any more English muffins, so I'm just gonna start then. Right, we don't have any more. Well, that's fun. That's just nice. That's just beautiful. We have ice cream, but we don't have English muffins. Whatever, I'm going upstairs. Oh, I need a lid for the collards. And obviously, you want to put everything on low. Actually, I just realized I did not mix in the damn seasonings. I just left it on the top like a heathen. Okay, before I go upstairs, I'm gonna actually finish this video because I told you guys how I do the collard greens. This is probably gonna cook for like another 2 hours. It's like what, 11 o'clock in the morning. I just happened to have enough energy to go to the store and realize what I wanted for dinner, so I was able to cook. I'm not gonna eat dinner until later on tonight. I made chicken a few nights ago, so I'm gonna eat that. I'm gonna make some gravy to go with it, as well as like a little bit of stuffing and whatever greens we have in the house. I think we still have some broccoli left. And yeah, that's how I make collard greens. And I'm going to edit this video once I go upstairs, so I won't show you guys like the finished product, but I will post it on my Instagram if anyone wants to see. Now, going back in time, this is the original plot of the movie. I found my life purpose by accident. And I feel like that's how you're supposed to find your life purpose. I feel like that is exactly it. I know what my sister is supposed to do with her time on this planet, and I'm really looking forward to her finding her truth. I honestly feel like you find out what you're supposed to do with your life at a younger age, but things don't like really stick until you get much older. At least that's how it felt for me. I'll speak for myself. I have always loved helping people. I've always loved telling stories, even though I used to like low-key lie when I was like in preschool or kindergarten. But I just loved like sharing stories, and I loved also like playing on the playground. For a kid that everyone would be like, oh, Janae was so sweet and quiet and so shy, I was so quick to making friends on the playground. And Tajana would always be like, Tajana's my sister. I was trying not to name drop, but then I accidentally slipped up, but whatever. A lot of people know that she's my sister. But I would always like befriend people on the playground and just like leave her behind. And she brings it up to this day. Like, yeah, Janae would always just make friends, and she just left me alone. And it's true. I like talking to people. I like getting to know people. I like hearing their stories. I like sharing stories. I like creating stories. I like it all. And so henceforth, I feel like my life on this planet, what I should be doing is an interview podcast or interview YouTube channel. I love talking. I love sharing experiences. So continue making these videos, doing some cute little vlogs every now and then. I love making stories. I love writing stories. I still absolutely love the craft of it. So I definitely want to become like, best-selling author, Janae Grant, here for the money. And yeah, that's what I want. And I feel like every time I apply for a job in a different field, or I'm just like, fuck it, I'll just suck it up and like work at this place, I don't get the job. I just don't be getting the job. And I'm at the point, I know that it's not because like I don't have the skill to do whatever, because I do. I can easily sit at a desk and like input data. Like this is like, it's stuff that I know that I can do. And I also have the skill, because I even like when I did the tarot thing, not the tarot, that someone read my birth chart. She was like, you don't need to have like like a degree or whatever, because you can just like learn along. And me retelling the story about like me like completely learning from scratch how to like edit videos and using different editing softwares, learning more about cameras, learning more about laptops. Like even to this day, I use the knowledge that I gathered from all those years ago to help my friend get a new laptop, to help my sister make sure she gets a new laptop, because I did so much research during that time in order to make sure that I was creating like really good content. I did like a lot of like work, and I'm not saying that like I need to be successful and that everyone needs to follow me and blah, blah, blah. I'm just like realizing that I just need to start like creating the content in the ways that I used to do before, because not only was it really good for my soul, I feel like a lot of the things that I said and did before, it helped out a lot of people and made a lot of people feel like supported and valued, and like they weren't the only ones dealing with whatever. And I'm also like really grateful for TikTok, and I want to say specifically TikTok because I can't bring up Instagram, because I don't feel like Instagram really does what I am like describing right now. But TikTok is a place where people share their experiences. Like people can roll out of bed and just like tell a story and it goes viral. It's not about their image, it's about the message, it's about what they're trying to say, it's about what they're trying to convey. And I love that. I love that about that platform, and which is why I stay on it, which I wish that sometimes I would get off of it. But I genuinely like hearing about other people's experiences, and like people sharing what they've gone through, what they've dealt with. Is one of the reasons why I came to realize that I had ADHD. It's something that I didn't think that I had before, but hearing other people's experiences, it made me come to a realization. I remember like Niga Higa back, I used to obsess about that man. But he said he had ADHD, but I did not know what the hell ADHD was. I think he explained it in a video way back when, but I was still just like, that doesn't sound like me. But then hearing like a whole lot of like women on TikTok being like, yeah, I have ADHD and here are all these different examples and here's blah, 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 and telling their stories and how, blah, blah. I was like, shit. Well, shit, I have ADHD. I feel like there's so much value in sharing your story and sharing your, some aspects of your life. But then this always like comes with a grain of salt, because people are very annoyingly opinionated, and I would be really tight if I'm like sharing a story, blah, 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 I'm sharing my life. And then someone's like, that's not true. That's not accurate. That's not, it's like, girl, this is my life. Shut your face up. Shut your face up. If you're not going to give anything helpful, then why are you talking? Why are you opening your mouth? But that's also just like human nature. So whatever. But yeah. Tell me, have you discovered what your life purpose is? What you feel like you should do on this earth? And if not, like, reach out to me. Let's figure it out together. I still don't even know how the fuck I'm going to get where I want to go, but I'm just going to keep doing stuff until something is just like, oh yeah, I just do that, you know? Like, if I just keep talking about, like, ADHD stuff, maybe that's my shtick. Or if I keep talking about, like, my writing process, maybe that's my shtick. I generally don't know. I'm just gonna keep making stuff until something feels more solid, you know? But I'm getting a whole bunch of emails and a whole bunch of text messages, so something has to be happening. So I'm gonna stop making a video. And yeah, I'll see you guys next Sunday. I think I'm gonna do like Sunday videos. It probably won't be like this next Sunday, but we'll see where I'm at. All that said, I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good Sunday, and have a good week.